Otherwise, it just feels so heavy that also me sometimes I'm like, why even bother? Why take any action? It would not make a difference. But that's when I start losing the present moment. That's when I start losing this value of small moments. That's when I stop seeing the gratitude. Welcome everyone to LifewithLiza podcast. Our mission at LifewithLiza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they have overcome so that those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage, and the hope to be their better selves. And today we have a special edition episode with me, and I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you so much for joining in, for listening in to these episodes, and for investing the time and energy to learn something new, to become your best self. And I'm just being so grateful that you're here and trusting me to be the person sharing some knowledge with you today. And I wanted to share today something that I've been thinking a lot lately, and something that has been helping me to go through dark times, and especially with everything that's happening in the world right now. It's so easy to feel so small and so helpless and just be scared in front of so much darkness and all of these very heavy events that are happening in the world. And something that has been helping me a lot, and I really want to share it with you because I think it would be quite useful, is basically the simplest thing ever, which is gratitude. And we have always known that yes, we should practice gratitude, we should write down something that we are grateful for every day, or we should think about it. But it indeed does work, because you cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. Those emotions cannot just coexist. So that's why when you start focusing your energy on something that you're grateful for, not only you kind of leave no space for other negative emotions in your life, but also the things that you're grateful for will start multiplying, because then you're inviting this the energy of gratitude into your life, and you will start noticing more and more things that are good and that are happening in your life. And also, if you're thinking at this moment, whichever dark moments or light moments you're currently in, and you're thinking, well, there is nothing I'm grateful for, there's nothing I could be grateful for this moment, things are just horrible. Well, that's not true, because it's not that things that we're grateful for happen to us. We just have to find them, because they are in everyone's life. We have things that we could be grateful for in this very moment. The very moment of you having an opportunity to listen to this podcast, the very act of you taking your next breath, the very moment of you walking down the street and taking that next step, or whatever moment it is, we could still be grateful for that. We just started thinking that for us to be grateful, something huge needs to happen or some miracle, but we lose the importance of small things, and we lose the gratitude for the small things. And there's actually so much to be grateful for. And whenever I start focusing my energy and my attention on the things that I'm actually grateful for, I really start feeling better. It really lifts me up from the dark place, from the place of helplessness when facing all of this darkness. It lifts me up, and it shows me the way. It shows me that things could always get so much worse than they are at the moment, and I'm grateful that they are not at their worst possible thing, even though they could always be better. I think we should be grateful for the things that, even though they're not yet the best they could be, that they're not the worst they could be, and that's already something that we could be grateful for. And I think with this gratitude in heart, it's so much easier, and it's so much lighter to take action and to move forward through life, because otherwise it just feels so heavy that also me sometimes I'm like, why even bother? Why take any action? It would not make a difference. But that's when I start losing the present moment. That's when I start losing this value of small moments. That's when I stopped seeing the gratitude. And that's something that I wanted to invite you as well to think about, because I feel like whenever you will also find yourself in some dark moment or dark space, try to pull yourself out from that moment, which could be, it could feel that it's spiraling like a vortex. Just try to pull yourself out from it just by thinking, what are 5 things that I'm grateful for? It could be something that is happening in this present moment, or it could be something that has already happened in the past. And try to make sure that that's something that is happening, that's something that you're grateful for, is very applicable to you. So don't say something very generic, like I'm grateful for my health. Say something that something more specific to you, is something like, I'm so grateful that my body allows me to do this Pilates workouts today, and I'm so grateful that I can do this movement. And then whenever you make it more specific to you, also feel the power of gratitude even stronger. And I want you, once you mention those things, to notice how your mood changes. It literally will pull you out of the negative vortex to the positive one. It will just pull you into the positive one, and it will help you to see more and more great things that are happening in our lives. Because life can be great, and it can also be depressing, and it's us who actually chooses which life we want to see, and where our focus goes, energy flows. So if we focus on the things that we are grateful for, and the beautiful moments, even on the small ones, then we'll start seeing more and more of them, and generating even more and more of them in our lives. Because imagine if you treated with gratitude every person that you met, and you showed them gratitude for every small action that they did, your relationship would improve so much. And I feel like lots of things actually go downwards or downhill once we start taking things for granted. Any relationship or at work, when we just start taking things for granted, that we have an opportunity to work. And I think it was Alex Hormozy who tweeted recently saying, remember that it's way worse not being able to work than not wanting to work. And that also hit me as well, because sometimes we could be just complaining about the work that we have to do without even realizing how grateful we should be for the very opportunity that we are able to work, and we have this opportunity, or we have this opportunity to do that study, or we have this opportunity to do that internship, or whatever it is in your life. If you start focusing on how is this serving me, how is this happening for me, how is this the best thing that ever happened in my life, how can I be grateful for this, literally the life in front of you transforms, because you just changed the lens through which you're looking at it, and now you start looking at it as it's the most beautiful thing. And I think that's something that is just so important nowadays. And especially if the amount of time that we're just spending on social media, and the amount of information on social media that is just so controversial, it's so triggering, and it tries to make us feel all of these emotions, from extreme happiness to terror, and it's quite hard to maintain the mental sanity. So I would something that I do regularly, and also would advise you just to take a moment to pause your social media and to think, grant yourself in the present moment, take a few deep breaths and think what you're grateful for, and know that you always have this tool in your toolbox, the gratitude tool. Whenever you start noticing yourself going down the negative thought spiral, that you can always grab this gratitude tool, pause, take deep breaths, think what you're grateful for, and pull yourself into the present moment, pull yourself into this positive vortex. And that's life-changing, as simple as it is. It's so underestimated, the value of gratitude, that I was even doubting, should I even make this video, because it sounds so simple, but it's underrated. That's why I had to make this video. I had to emphasize the value of gratitude, and we should really use it. Despite how simple it is, people never use the small simple things, but they make the biggest difference. So I hope that you take it seriously, and you start the gratitude practice, you start doing your gratitude practice. And I hope this episode helped you in some way. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like button, subscribe to this channel, share it with someone you think it could be useful for. And yeah, I cannot believe it's been already 27 episodes that I've done in the past 27 days, and we have 73 more to go. So you don't want to miss out on those. So follow the show, subscribe to this channel, and I see you tomorrow. Love you. Thank you so much for staying this far.